A very good morning to my dear children. How are you? I hope that you all are fine. Are you studying well? Good. Children, today we will study about the social life of the Indus Valley people. You know that we are discussing the chapter, the Indus Valley Civilization, and you learned the town planning in the previous videos. Right? Yes, we have covered the topics such as the extent of the Indus Valley civilization or the footprints of Indus Valley civilization, the location, various cities which were excavated by the archaeologists. You also learned the town planning of the Indus Valley civilization. Children, you studied that the Indus Valley civilization is famous for its town planning. Well-planned cities were there in the banks of river Indus and its tributaries. You can name some of the important cities of that time, such as Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Lothal, Ropa, etc. Right, children? Yes. All these cities developed in the banks of river Indus and its tributaries. The Indus Valley people were very advanced in the field of sanitation and drainage also. You learned the characteristics of the drainage facilities that existed in the Indus Valley cities. You also learned about the characteristics of the cities of Indus Valley. That means the cities were divided into two parts, citadel and the lower city. Here, today's class, we are going to discuss about the social life of the Indus Valley people or the Indus Valley society. How the society of Indus Valley was organized. What were the characteristics of the Indus Valley society? Okay, children, so today's topic is social life. So, what's our today's topic? Social life. Social life of the Indus Valley civilization. Okay? Yes. We have many evidences to study the Indus Valley civilization. We depend mainly on the archaeological evidences. There were many evidences including scripts that show the script of the Indus Valley people. They had a script, but we could not read the script. Till now, the script of the Indus Valley people was not deciphered, or no one could read the script of Indus Valley people. So that we are always depending on the archaeological sources to study the Indus Valley civilization. Children, you know that archaeological sources means the remains of the past evidence or past things that existed. Remains of the things used by the people in the past. That may include the remains of buildings, pots or pottery, remains of clothes, beads, toys, etc. All such things are considered as archaeological sources to study the Indus Valley civilization. Here also, when we study about the society of Indus Valley, we could depend on the archaeological evidences. Okay, what the archaeological evidences or the past evidence, that means the things used by the people of that time tell to us. Right, children, is it clear? So, in order to study the social life of the Indus Valley people, we have to depend upon the archaeological evidences. Many archaeological evidences are there that show the characteristics or the features of the Indus Valley society. According to the evidences, we can understand that the Indus Valley society was divided into 4 classes. The society of Indus Valley was divided into how many classes, children? 4 classes, or there existed 4 social divisions. Okay, how many divisions were there in the Indus Valley society? 4. You know that the society of Indus Valley was divided into 4. sections in the society. You know that now we will discuss about the archaeological sources or the archaeological evidences that give us information about each and every sections. Okay, you know that the Indus Valley Society was divided into how many sections? 4 sections, and different archaeological evidences are there to study about these 4 sections of the society. Let us see which were the 4 sections and which are the archaeological evidences to prove there existed this type of social sections or divisions in the society. Okay, children? So, serial number, class of people, and archaeological evidences. Children, let us see which were the 4 classes in the Indus Valley Society. Okay, and which are the archaeological evidences that give us information about these 4 sections. Children, the first section of the society was learned people. That we could get the evidence of a bust of a priest. Bust of a priest is available from the Indus Valley sites. Bust of a priest. See children, the first section of the Indus Valley Society was the learned people. The bust of a priest that we get from the Indus Valley site gives us information about this. The learned people. The learned people formed the first section of the society, and we could get the evidence of this from the bust of a priest. You know who is a priest? A person who conducts or who leads the religious performances or rituals is called a priest. Okay. So, you know that the bust of a priest. Bust means the statue, half statue. Okay. Bust means a statue that shows up to the chest of a person. Okay. That is called a bust. So, the bust of a priest is available from the Indus Valley sites, and that shows us that the learned people formed a section of the society. So now we are discussing about the social division of the Indus Valley people, and you learned that the first section was the learned people. How do we know that there were learned people in the society or they formed a section in the society? Because we have the evidence of the bust of a priest or a religious person. A religious person is called a priest who give leadership to the religious performances or activities. He is called a priest. He is the learned man. Learned person. So, the evidence that we could get from the Indus Valley cities was the bust of a priest. The picture of the bust of the priest is given in your page number 24. You can see it here, children. This picture. Okay, this is the bust of a priest. Page number 24, you can see it. And this helps us to understand that the Indus Valley Society was divided into 4 classes, and the first one was the learned people. The bust of the priest shows us there existed such a class of learned people in the Indus Valley. Next, the warriors. The warriors also formed another section of the society, and we know that we can get the evidences, the archaeological evidences such as the remains of swords and fort walls. Remains of swords. And fort walls. Children, the remains of swords and fort walls gives us information that the society consisted of the warriors also. The warriors formed another section of the society. Okay, so the remains such as the remains of swords and fort walls. Children, when you discussed about the citadel and the lower city, you learned that the citadel was a fort. Citadel was like a fort where people could go in times of external invasion. Right? We learned that if there is external attack to the cities, the people could go to the citadel that would protect the people from the attack of the enemies. So, the citadel were like forts, F-O-R-T, forts. So, the remains or the archaeological remains of the swords and the forts show as that there existed a class of warriors in the Indus Valley society. Now you learned about two classes of people who lived in the Indus Valley society. The first one was the learned people. The example or the evidence was the bust of a priest that we got from the Indus Valley sites. Here the next class was the warriors. And the evidence were the remains of swords and the fort walls. There existed, or the people used swords and there existed forts in the cities. For example, the citadel. The citadel itself formed a fort that could save the people or protect the people in times of war or invasion. Right, children? People could go to the citadel in times of attack that we learned in the previous video. So, both these show that there existed a class of people called the warriors, and the next section of the society was the traders and the artisans. The traders and the artisans. The traders and the artisans formed the third section of the society. We can get the evidences from the artifacts, the remains of artifacts. Artifacts are the remains of the things used by the people, the things used by the people in their daily life. Okay, such things are called artifacts. So we have a lot of remains of artifacts or the things used by the Indus Valley people in their day-to-day life. Okay, and that shows that there existed a class of people who were traders and artisans. Clear, children? So, the traders and artisans formed the next section of Indus Valley society. Okay, and you know that there existed dockyards in the Indus Valley cities. Dockyard, when we studied about the town planning, you learned that there existed dockyards, granaries and great bags. So here you know the dockyard was there, that means which shows river transportation. The people used boats to transport things. See, the dockyards were always constructed for the purpose of river transportation, especially they transported goods and such things. That means there existed trade in the Indus Valley cities. Okay, so the traders and the artisans formed a section of the society. That was the third section of the society. Here, children, you learned about the three sections that existed in the Indus Valley society: the learned people, the warriors, and the traders and artisans. Clear, children? So the evidences that show there existed lived a group of traders and artisans are the artifacts. Artifacts are the remains of the things which were used by the people in their day-to-day life. Okay, artifacts are the evidences or the remains of the things used by the people in their day-to-day life or daily life. And the last section of the society was the farmers and laborers. The farmers and laborers. The farmers and the laborers. The farmers and laborers form the last section, and the evidences are the quarters of laborers. There existed quarters of laborers. There existed quarters of laborers in the Indus Valley cities. Quarters of laborers were there in the Indus Valley cities. That shows that people, including the farmers and the laborers, formed a section of the society. Here we discussed about the 4 sections of the Indus Valley society. Okay. So children, listen. The Indus Valley society consisted of 4 sections. That means the society was divided into 4 sections. And you know that we get archaeological evidences to understand that there existed 4 classes in the Indus Valley society. The first one was the learned people, and the bust of a priest shows us that there were a group of people who were learned. That means especially they were given the religious duties. Okay, so the learned people form one of the sections of the Indus Valley society. The evidence we have the bust of a priest. The next section was the warriors, and the evidences, the archaeological evidences are the remains of swords and fort walls. There were fort walls and the remains of swords that we could get from the Indus Valley city. So sites that shows that there were a group of people or a section in the society who were the warriors. Okay, then comes the traders and artisans. The next section was the traders and artisans. The artifacts. Artifacts are the remains of the things used by the people in their day-to-day life or their daily life. Okay, such remains shows that the traders and artisans formed a section of the society, and the last section was the farmers and laborers. Children, we have the evidences of the quarters of laborers, or the quarters in which the laborers lived. The remains of the quarters of laborers shows that there existed a group of people who engaged in agriculture and a group of people who served others. That means laborers. Okay, farmers and laborers formed a section in the Indus Valley society. So children, now you have learned about the 4 sections in the Indus Valley society. Okay. Now you know which are the 4 sections of the Indus Valley society and which are the archaeological evidences that help us to understand, to know about the 4 Indus Valley society, sections of the 4 sections of the Indus Valley society. Here are they. You can understand it from this table. First one, the learned people, archaeological evidence, the bust of a priest, then the warriors, remains of swords and fort walls, then traders and artisans, artifacts, last one the farmers and laborers, quarters of laborers. Okay, children, I hope that now this topic is clear to you. Now you learned the division of the Indus Valley society. Okay, these are the features of Indus Valley society. There are many archaeological evidences or remains that help us to know about the society of Indus Valley. We could not depend upon the literary sources to study the Indus Valley civilization because the script of the Indus Valley people that are not yet deciphered. So then we can rely on the archaeological sources or archaeological evidences, and all these archaeological evidences help us to learn about the social division that existed in the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so that is very important. You should learn the society or the social life of the Indus Valley people. You should try make this table in your copy also. You can follow page number 23. There this table is given. Okay. Read your book, learn well, stay at home, be safe and happy. Thank you and have a nice day.